with the necessary investment in clean and renewable technologies. And in addition, we're going to engage this argument. There was a book written, an idea many years before its time, called the Lucas Plan, which was an attempt, this is in the 70s, an attempt to address the question of why can't we use the knowledge and the science and technology available to society for socially useful production. Now that is an idea and a book whose time has come. And we're going to, part of this campaign, is going to argue that there needs to be a serious debate about diversification, about converting away from our reliance on motor manufacture in the arms industry, in the nuclear industry, in all those industries that continue to pollute, to show again that it is entirely possible to create these jobs. But of course, part of the argument is not just a technical question of laying out those arguments in that neat way, neither is it about producing a pamphlet or a book to go on the shelf. We want to show also that you cannot rely on the argument, and that we will use this as an opportunity to expose the failure of successive governments to invest, the case for investment in particular sectors, and to also restate the argument for extending democratic forms of public ownership. Again, as a counterweight to those who would try and convince us that we should rely on the market itself. So I just want to say in conclusion that the initiative that when we're working through the campaign against climate change, we're trying to enlist the maximum numbers of trade unions involved in this campaign, to arm us with the arguments, to build the links, to win the debate within our own unions, to build the links across trade unions, so that we can undertake some of the debates that will take place not just at the TUC Congress in September, but a much longer debate that we need in order to win hearts and minds amongst trade unions, to undercut those who suggest there's some false divide between ecology and economy. And it's also about developing the links between the trade union movements. And again, Bob Crow is mentioned in the front of The Guardian today. What's most significant is the opportunity that this creates for the trade unionists to align with environmental campaigns, but also to shatter the argument that this isn't affordable. And I give just one statistic, that we work as PCS closely with an organisation called the Tax Justice Network. They produced figures last year. Again, it's received a degree of media coverage, not enough, but it shows that as a result of tax avoidance measures of the super rich, that conservative estimation, £26 billion is lost to the public exchequer. And as Dennis Seeley said, the disparate difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion is the thickness of a prison wall. We also find that again, a conservative estimation is that as a result of fraud by the city and some of the wealthiest in our society, at least 30 billion is lost to the public purse. On top of that, we estimate 100 billion is lost in uncollected taxes. And the very department that exists where PCS organises its workforce, the very department that exists to collect those taxes, is on the receiving end of a completely arbitrary programme of office closures and job cuts. Again, just shows the madness of some of the arguments at the moment. So I just really want to finish by restating my union support. We will do everything possible. I'll be going there on Tuesday with a number of PCS activists and officers. We are looking to promote campaigning activity on the island. We will use all our resources to publicise this campaign, to build links with the wider trade union movement, to give you the maximum practical and financial support that we can at the moment, to ensure this occupation is a beacon to many other workers, that we ensure that this occupation forces the government to act properly by nationalising Vestas in the UK and providing the financial support that's necessary for a genuine attempt for investment in clean and renewable technologies, and in the process challenge the most insidious idea that I'm sure all of us have encountered over the course of the last 20 odd years, promoted by the mainstream parties, by the city and the media, and that is those who say you can't make a difference, that accepting the diktat of government and the employer is in some way modern and realistic. Well, the workers at Vestas have shown in practice, trade unionists have started to show in practice, environmental campaigners have started to show in practice that we can reject the fatalism and defeatism that afflicted the movement for far too long and win an important victory for the working class and the arguments against climate change. Thanks very much for listening.